Welcome to Spillin Sweet Tea, the podcast that pours out all the good happening around us. I'm your host, Morgan Robinson, and each week we share uplifting stories from inspiring people that remind us that we are more connected than we think. The world is full of helpers, they're full of dreamers, they're full of doers, people that are truly trying to make it a better place. And we know some days that's easier than others. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, because we're spilling only the sweetest kind of tea. Today on Spillin Sweet Tea, I am so excited to be joined by Sam Nygaard, one of our Women of Achievement. Oh my gosh, what an honor. So exciting, so well deserved. So this is kicking off a series in partnership with the YWCA of Charleston for the Women of Achievement Luncheon coming up on Friday, March the 6th. So we have 5 weeks kicking off with Sam of these just, you said it best, powerhouse women who have done so much for our community, so much for our world, so much for our friends and family to make this a better place. And Sam is absolutely one of those. You are the woman to watch, which I like. I love that. It's like a little creepy, but I'm also here for it. So Sam is a woman to watch, meaning that she is a lady on the rise with the amazing work that she is doing. Sam is rooted in connecting people to the places that they love, from advocating for our national parks right here in Appalachia to building community through the best name ever, West Virginia Pedal Pals. The Pedal Pals. And the second group that you started, you roll up your sleeves, you work with a neighborhood association for the West Side. I mean, like literally, you do so much, Sam. I don't know how you have time to sleep. But no matter the space, Sam believes that the people really bring meaning to these places, and the connection is what makes our community stronger, and I couldn't agree more. So grab a cup. We've got our tea with us. And Sam brought me the most lovely tea from Buchanan. If you're one of my Buchanan people, you know how much I love y'all. So I can't wait to try that. But grab your cup, get comfy, and help me welcome Sam to the show. Yay!
Yay, so happy to be here. Thank you so much, Morgan.
You are welcome. I just want to say my type A personality is like loving that Sam has notes right now. And chef's kiss. So we're going to just kick off. What's bringing you joy lately?
Ooh, so many things bring me joy. I like to practice gratitude, but this question, I was like, what is really bringing me joy? And it's something that happens once a week most recently.
Oh.
I heard that you were once an instructor at the University of Charleston.
Yes.
We share that in common because this year I am starting as an instructor at the UC's Downtown Innovation Hub.
Yes.
They have a business accelerator program, and their new executive director, Jamie Cope, has asked me to present once a week to the small businesses that are part of that program on human skills.
Oh my gosh. People need human skills.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. And that's been delightful because it's honestly, when I create the presentations, I'm doing things on personal branding or just even how to plan intentional gatherings and events. And it's been really fun because it's just things that I'm like, this lives rent-free in my brain.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to talk to anyone. So it's really just a great opportunity for me to pick the brains of like small business owners, ask them to be a little bit more intentional about whether it's their branding, whether it's about how they talk to their employees or their customers. And just for 15 minutes, like every week, 20 mintes, we have a little discussion and chit chat.
That's so needed.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
That is so much fun. Oh my gosh, what a valuable program. And there are things that probably do exist in other people's brains, but unless you're intentional about bringing it to life, that's all it does. It just like hangs out back here. Oh, I love that so much. You know, I was actually talking to a creative recently about an event that a group had a few months ago, and they're like, the people were great, but there was really no programming or like directives. So I felt kind of like just a fish swimming in a bowl. And so I think, the intention and making sure that people are walking right, because not everybody's going to just walk up and start having a conversation with somebody. A lot of people need that extra push to say, here's why you two need to get to know each other.
Yes.
That's so cool.
I'm glad you get it. I knew you would.
I love that. So how long have you been doing that?
So I think this was my third presentation. I'm doing it for 6 weeks and then doing a webinar. But honestly, everything that the downtown business, like their hub downtown has been really cool. Like it's a cool building. And have you been in the space?
Yes, I was going to say the space itself is really, really cool.
At the next art walk, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Yeah.
I love it. Open invitation right there, I think. Yeah, that's amazing. So we are in February now. Tell us about a moment in the last year. I mean, it's kind of right here, 2025, still in our rear view. A moment in the last year that's moved you.
There's been so many. 2025 was a year where many things happened. And I really, at the beginning of 2025, I really sat down to reframe, how is this year going to look? How can we last to the end of 2025? How can we make it to 2026?
Yes.
And here we are in 2026. And I think I really made, again, back to that intention. And I was hyper intentional because, it was a rough beginning of 2025. And I'm like, how can I make the most of this year? How can I find those little moments of joy? So I really wanted to harness that joy, but then also share it with others, because I also knew that our community is going to need it more now.
More now than ever.
So I really had that. And I was like, where are the spaces where that matters to me? So I'm going to share more than one moment of joy, if that's okay. But so in my Pedal Pals group, my community-based cycling group, one thing that I cite this moment all the time, because I was just like, this is why I did this. Like, this is why I created this group. This was like in my August bike rides. I was doing these 7 a.m. bike rides on the boulevard, which is, long.
And in August, honestly, it's great because it's not just boiling on your skin.
We had to. That's why I was like, I hate waking up this early to go get on my bike. But once I was on, it was fine, because it was actually sometimes chilly in the morning. So that was nice. But I think it was like the first ride I had in August, I had a new rider that came bright and early. And he rode the whole time. He was kind of in the back of the pack, so we made sure he felt included. But I learned at the end of the ride that it was his first time riding in 50 years.
In 50 years?
In 50 years. I was like, what? 50 years? He's like, I haven't ridden since I was a kid.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
It was I don't know. It was really touching.
That's
to
moving.
Me. Yeah. I was like, this is that was his first ride in 50 years, and I was a little nervous. I was like, is Bobby coming back? Is he coming back? But he did. He came back, and I think I think he was either doing twice a week or 3 times a week bike rides, and he came to basically all of them.
He found a community.
He did, and it was amazing to see his progress, because, like I said, he was actually in the wrong gear the whole time, and I don't want to judge. Yeah. Like, again, it's like an inclusive space. So I was like, we'll wait.
Right.
Everything will take breaks, but he figured it out, and it was
a learning experience
really
as well.
So that was a joy for me, and like that I could spend that joy with others. And then, another moment.
Yes.
Again, sparking joy for others. With the Westside Neighborhood Association, me and Naomi Bays, we work really hard to make sure that we're bringing joy to our community on the West Side, and for others to experience that joy too. And we planned this one-of-a-kind.
Is this the date one?
Wait, actually, that one is also.
I was like, that one is definitely one of a kind.
So,
oh my gosh.
2 one-of-a-kind events that I will talk about then. We'll do 2 moments of joy, but the dad joke comedy battle. Did you hear about that?
We love a dad joke.
Yeah, so it was really great, because we're like, people need to laugh more now than ever. So,
yes.
And my favorite moment from that event is we had, it was a clean comedy, clean jokes, clean dad jokes. And we had these young people, like kiddos in the front row sitting
the ultimate judges.
And this is at Resurrection Church, which is, formerly Capitol Theater. So they still have that historical theater feel.
It's beautiful.
And these kids, they were sitting front row. We had these rubber chickens and tongs to clack along to the jokes. Nice. And they looked like they were in New York City, seeing a big show, big production, because they did amazing lights. And the jokes, they were laughing, when can a kid see a comedy show? So
it's never safe for kids.
Never yeah. So they had such a great time. So seeing that joy in their eyes as I was running with my clipboard back and forth, I'm like,
you don't always get those moments when you're organizing. So I'm glad you got the little fruits of your labor.
And that date night event, we had Magic on Magic Island.
Magic, yes. I was like, it had a fun name.
It's a clean up, meet cute, or both, And it was really magical, because we had it during that golden hour glow. So people,
beautiful.
Who knew picking up trash could be romantic?
And
it wasn't just the romance. I don't know if people made romantic connections, but there were definitely friendships made.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it was amazing. The moment of joy, not only as the sun was setting, people were having charcuterie on picnic blankets on Magic Island, but afterwards, me and Naomi were doing our debrief at Fife, and everyone was hanging out with each other.
Because it's like the same thing. They want to help out the community, and those people, you just need each other. And to feel like you're not alone in wanting to make the world better, even if it is picking up one piece of, refuse, like, amazing. Oh my gosh. And to have those opportunities, because so many people feel, and we talk about volunteerism a lot on this show, but so many people feel like it's such a commitment. It can be a one night thing, and you're still doing more than half of the population is. I mean, you're still making a difference.
Exactly. And it just matters. Like, we had so many people, it was their first time. One, we had people who traveled from, we had people from Beckley, we had people from Huntington, we had people from Oak Hill. Like, people traveled to come to this event.
So cool.
But like, and some people who were local, it was their first time ever on the West Side or in Magic Island. They're like, I didn't know this was a park. I'm like, well, welcome to the West Side.
I think a lot of times people have this like misconception of Magic Island, and then you get down there and you're like, what have I been so scared of, or what have I been hesitant for? So yeah, that's so amazing.
I'm glad you understand.
That brought me joy just hearing about it.
Yay.
So, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
This was such a heavy question.
It's so tough.
Because, sometimes people give you like a lot of advice and you get to choose if you want to take it or not.
Yeah.
So,
sometimes they give you really bad advice.
That's what I was like. Yeah. Honestly, what came to the forefront was a lot of bad advice, but I was like, what has been, something that I've had and traveled with me throughout my life. And that's where it took me back to my 9th grade English class.
Yes.
My last day of my English class, my teacher, Mr. Knight, gave this big speech. And at the time I was like, oh, this is serious. But I think it really resonated with me. And essentially, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was just really emphasizing that we would never be in this moment all together in this place ever again, which is kind of heavy for 9th graders. Like, that's pretty heavy.
It is pretty heavy.
For like a 9th grade English honors class, I'm like, whoa.
Oh, it was honors. You guys were really like in your 30s mentally at that point.
But like, that's why I'm like, I guess here I am now years later thinking about this. But I think that has really put into perspective how important our time is.
Yes.
Time is... to me, it's my most valuable resource. It's what I have to give in this world, and how I choose to spend it is what's important. Time is fleeting. Time, escapes us. So like living in the moment, being present, and making the most of what I have. And that's always stuck with me.
That's amazing advice. And let me just also throw it back to Lindsay's. If you haven't watched Lindsay on the podcast from last week, talking about the importance of public education, the impact that teachers make. You've probably received a lot of advice, but thinking back to your 9th grade English teacher, props out to all of the education anyway. Yes, that's amazing. But it does, and I think you do need someone that, even in the 9th grade, trusts you enough to think beyond what people would expect.
Yeah.
And that's to push those limits and know that it's going to stick with the people who need to hear it or who want to hear it. Ooh, yes. I love that.
Our educators are the best.
Our educators are the best. It really is the Lord's word. I mean, like, I don't know how. I mean, and our daughter, Ben's here. Our daughter is an elementary education major, graduating in May. She's in a 2nd grade classroom right now, and just hearing the stories, but knowing the difference that she's making, we're so proud. Obviously, moment of silence. What is something I feel like you're unapologetically passionate about? A few things?
Yes, maybe a few. Let's say.
What's one thing you'd like to talk about? Or if you have a list, we're also good with that too.
Yes. Well, okay, this again, it was very hard, but that's why I was like, what's an umbrella?
Yeah, how can we capture more things underneath it?
Yeah, and it was, I loved all the questions that you had for your previous guests. Like, they were so thoughtful. Even the personalized ones. I'm like, hey, you still personalize the general ones for it.
I try to personalize a little bit. Yeah.
So I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that you spent on it. But for me, something that I'm unapologetically passionate about is building community.
Yeah.
That's been a thread in my whole life, is making sure that people feel like they belong wherever they are. Something that you probably don't know about me is I'm a military kid.
Oh, so, I did not know that. Yeah.
So I spent every 3 to 4 years of my life
just moving. Oh my gosh.
My dad served 21 years in the U.S. Navy. So that meant, like you said, picking up our lives and, starting a new school, making new friends, figuring out a new place. I was born in the Pacific Northwest and lived in Florida, lived in Japan.
Oh my gosh.
And then now I'm here in West Virginia on my own. And like that, I think those experiences in my formative years have really taught me the value of community and the value of place and value of like the people that live there and the history and the stories, you know, that make that place special. So that's been something that I've always thought about, and it's impacted, you know, everything that I do.
Sure, yeah. Why West Virginia?
Okay. I'm like, do we have time? But the short version is I visited on a spring break trip, and I fell in love. It was so amazing how I could just. My first experience was on Capitol Street, which was just like, okay, Hallmark movie. Yeah. Because it was also like March on Capitol Street. So actually not that glamorous.
Not that glamorous. It's not like Holly Jolly or anything. Yeah. We're not having a Gilmore Girls moment.
No, it was really just like a kind of, in hindsight, just like a dismal day, a gray day. But that doesn't bother me. But what really I noticed was like people were having genuine conversations, you know, like talking across the street to each other, waving and having a full conversation across Capitol Street. Like, you guys can cross the street, but no, that's just how we do it around here.
That's how we do it.
And then sometimes I'm the one. Now I'm doing that.
I did that today, actually. Shout out Jay Silverman having a conversation with him across
I love it.
About hot dogs. Yeah. Also, very random.
Of course. Well, actually,
it's Jay.
It's Jay.
Yeah, it's not random.
Hot dogs, but.
But I love that.
8 years later, here you
are. I knew you had been here for a while. I wasn't sure how many years, but that is fascinating. What would you consider your hometown?
Ooh, so I mean,
it's such a loaded question as a military kid. Yeah,
it's so hard. So I answer it I was like, I'm from everywhere. Is like a fun answer. Like, to be silly.
Take little pieces of you from different places.
But I like to just say, because my parents have now retired in Jacksonville, Florida, and that's where I went to high school. Okay. So I'm just like,
a lot of your formative, and you go back there. That makes sense. Yeah,
Jax Duval.
I like that. What does it mean to be named a YWCA Woman of Achievement, a woman to watch?
It was really, I mean, like you alluded to earlier, I was like, who are they watching? Like, who's watching?
What do I have to do?
Yeah, like little old
Do I need to dance?
Yeah, I was like, we're watching are the cameras rolling?
Yeah, what's happening right now?
But it was really, I was honestly caught off guard when Sarah and Maria sat me down. Like, they were just like, let's have a coffee catch up. I thought, and then they started telling me about, Women Achievement is coming up.
I was like, you need a volunteer.
Yeah, I really was like, I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to, let's brainstorm women to honor. Like, I thought they wanted to thought partner with me.
You're going to join the committee.
Yeah, I was really like, I'm excited.
You're such a worker behind the scenes. Of course, that's your first thought.
And then like Sarah, because you know, Sarah Brown speaks so eloquently. So I was like, oh wow, she's talking, like, who is she talking about? And she's talking about me.
That's amazing.
So I was like, oh my gosh, so it's truly an honor. And honestly, it surprised me because I'm just like, I would have done these things without anyone watching.
Right.
These things are like,
and that's why you're being honored. Because if your intent is to do things to be honored, then that is a bit misguided, I would say. But I think your humility is one of your most lovely traits amongst a lot of others. But I think that's part of it.
Thank you.
I love that you had no idea.
Really, you could ask them. Like, they were like, oh, she was.
Is she gonna catch on soon?
And I was also like just fresh from. Lindsay also goes to Yoga Power.
Nice.
I go to Yoga Power, and I was like, like in Zen mode. So I was just like, wow.
This is great.
Yeah, I'm happy to help.
Have you done Legree with Lindsay?
I am not brave enough for Legree yet. I'm like infrared. I love my infrared classes.
That sounds more my speed. Yeah. Give me some sound therapy.
Yes, I love a sound bath. But Legree, I'm like, maybe second half of the year, we'll see where we're at.
Yeah. See where my fitness journey takes me. So now we will get into some of those personal questions. So you work, your day job, if you will, is with the National Parks Conservation Association, focusing really on advocacy here in Appalachia. Mm-hmm. What does it look like to connect national parks and their priorities with West Virginians? I mean, we now have a national park, obviously, which is amazing. But what does that work look like?
It's really fulfilling work. I'm so fortunate that I get to do that as my job. Mm-hmm. That's why every day I'm like, wow, I get to do this. And I'm very happy, especially like a year like 2025. I'm just like, this is why we exist. Like, this is why my organization has been working to protect national parks for over 100 years, because it's moments like this. And I'm also really fortunate I get to do this work in the lens of promoting West Virginia through national parks. That's what's amazing. It's like, we are home to America's newest national park,
Yes.
New River Gorge, but we also are home to like such important history here in West Virginia. We have Harper's Ferry. We just have such hidden histories at New River Gorge about our heritage of the state. And so I'm really fortunate that I get to work to protect these stories and these places here in West Virginia.
And they need protection. And I think that sharing that narrative and sharing those stories and those experiences and people sharing their own experiences there, that's part of that layer of protection that we're giving them. You know, people think that you have to give so much money, or you have to give so much time. You just have to share a story sometimes to make a difference.
Yes.
And so that's wonderful.
I love that you said the story part. So I was just at most recently Tourism and History Day at the
Yes, at the
legislature.
Capitol. Yeah.
So that one I love that day at the Capitol. It's so fun because I get to talk to so many exciting people. But that was my favorite part. I left the Capitol with my heart full, which I don't know if everyone can say, but
Every day.
But just the stories from lawmakers to the state employees to the partners that were there came up to talk to me about and shared their stories about their favorite national parks. That's my favorite thing to ask is, what's your favorite national park? Even if you've never been there, you can have a favorite.
You can have you don't have to visit it.
Yeah. These places are special for a reason, and they're special to us each individually in our own ways. So it was like I get like goosebumps just thinking about people sharing those stories, and I'm just really fortunate that they could share that. And that's what advocacy is sharing those stories about things you care about. So
It's personifying places with your memories, which I love. And you're right. Not every day at the Capitol is an easy one. Not every day are smiles and rainbows, but I do love Tourism Day and the outdoor recreation, all of those fun things, because we have such a robust population of people working really hard every day to provide that for our residents, but also for tourists. And Secretary Ruby did such an amazing job talking about the impact that tourism has made in the state of West Virginia. So just killing it every day. Now, West Virginia Pedal Pals. Cutest name ever. Community-based cycling group. What made you have what was the spark behind the idea? Like, how I have so many questions.
Yes.
How did it start? How have you kept it going? Who's involved? And can you teach me how to ride a bike? Because I cannot ride a bike.
oh my gosh, yeah, we can start anytime.
I tried to ride a bike. I'm waiting for Ben to laugh in the background. I tried to ride a bike in Hilton Head several years ago, and I fell off and I bruised places of me that can't be shown on TV. And it was painful, and I haven't stepped back on one since.
Been drinking.
Oh, okay.
I was under the influence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
yeah,
enough. You
Yeah.
want to get a Dewey on a bike.
Can you?
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
Okay, maybe it's best that I fell in, because that would have for sure happened had not. Oh, I didn't think so. I knew
It's
you
still a
were like
vehicle.
riding a horse.
Yeah, but it's a vehicle. Like a bike is considered.
I'm learning so much.
I know. I love to learn. You know, I also advocate for bike safety, so that's why I'm like,
Yes,
this is part of it.
I was not wearing a helmet. I should have been. It's been worse.
It's okay. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're here.
I am okay.
But yes, anytime you want to ride bikes together, I'm happy to teach you.
You need like a beginner level,
Yeah.
like myself and children with training wheels. That's the vibe that I'm looking for.
It's a safe space. So that's exactly why I created Pedal Pals. So in the pandemic era, like I don't even know what year exactly, because it's a blend.
It's a blend.
But I needed an activity to like get me out of the house, but keep me off the streets, but I guess still on the streets.
You're definitely on the streets.
I do road biking, so that's why. And a bike is the perfect way to do that. So I started riding my bike there, but then I learned no one wanted to ride bikes with me anymore.
Aww.
Like no one, not like at
Yeah,
all. Like
people
people are
People
doing
don't think about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I don't have anyone to ride bikes with. And then no shade to no tea, no shade to like our other cycling groups. They're amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm just
Some
like,
of them are so serious.
they're so serious. You'll never catch me in a cycling jersey. Like I again want to be accessible. I bike in this dress. So it's one of those things. I want it to be accessible. So after doing research, I'm like, there's still no one to ride bikes with. So I'm like, I'm going to make a group so other people can ride bikes together. And that's my whole thing is like, let's just ride bikes.
Let's just ride bikes.
We don't need to know each other. We can be
It doesn't have to be a competition.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we don't go fast. And that's the thing. It's inclusive. It's like I said, if you haven't ridden in 50 years, I like to say from 7 to 70 or beyond.
Or beyond.
Or younger if you're able.
Oh.
Let's ride bikes.
I love It's so pure.
It is like a really wholesome.
I also want your tag on to be pedal pals. We don't have to go fast, we don't go fast.
I like tell people, I'm like, hey, we'll stop. Do you need water? I have a first aid kit. I have everything you need.
This is the best.
Yes, and we make frequent stops. So like my favorite tours to give are my public art bike tours, usually during festival, but also throughout the year.
Yeah.
And we just learn more about our community. I've said it before, but I really think the more you learn about your community is how you care more about your community, wherever you live.
Wherever, yes.
If you're traveling, just learning more, just like when you know more, it's hard for you to like think negative things about it because you're connected.
Yeah.
Because you have that information. So we do public art tours, we do civil rights history tours, which
amazing.
is, people don't think about civil rights when they think of Charleston, West Virginia, but that history.
There's a huge history here for that. Yeah.
But it's not talked about. So I love giving that history tour. So that's also fun. And then, like I said, I do bike advocacy as well because I think, I want these streets to be safe. I want people, a lot of feedback people get is, some people say, I don't know how to ride a bike. And I'm like, okay, I'll teach you.
Yeah.
But second is people, they don't feel safe riding bikes because I do road biking. I feel safer on the streets than on these mountains here in West Virginia.
Terrifying.
I don't
So we live in Cross Lanes. There's the beautiful lake in Nitro, and they have a huge biking community with amazing paths. Thank you, Tracy Toller, for those. But they are so serious, and it is so scary. And I've seen a man fall once, and only laughed for a second, and then we did help him.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, no, that's amazing. Well, so that's what this whole program is about, right? When you talk about when you can see more things, you learn about things in your community. You start to care about them, and the good starts to outweigh the bad. Yes. And the light starts to overtake the shadow. And that's what, this whole program is about. And really, as we target things like public education and food insecurity and national parks conservation and protection, that's what I hope people realize. It's very personal. And there are stories behind all of these things. And there is an appreciation that you can gain from just being a part of it. So, yeah, perfect. I do too.
Yeah,
that's so great.
My
heart. Pedal pals, we don't go fast. Oh my gosh. I want a t-shirt. I have to ride the bike first, I guess. Yeah. All right. So next up, we are throwing in a lemon slice. So if you watch the show, you know what that means. That means, a little accoutrement that started out as very sour, maybe a little bit bitter, but has ultimately led to a better drink of tea. So what is your lemon slice?
Okay, this was a fun one because I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about?
Is this the bad advice?
Yeah, what is it going to be? And I really spent some time thinking about this experience because it did have a really big impact on me. And honestly, I think changed the projection of where I am today. So it was really powerful.
Big, yeah,
it was pretty big. Even though it didn't feel
at the time. It never feels that big at the time.
So that's why I like this question because it really is reflective, and especially in this point in time. So, this lesson for me that was so sour that it sent me, I felt like in a spiral for a little bit, in a polite way. But this happened probably a little bit 3 years ago or so. Mm-hmm. And I was rejected by a leadership program here in the state. And which is fine. I'm okay. I love a no. Actually, tell me no more.
Tell me no.
Tell me no.
Yeah.
That way I know.
Yeah.
I love a no.
Right.
But it wasn't the no that bothered me. It was the why behind the no, which I was surprised they gave a why. And this leadership program told me that I didn't have enough community involvement. And at this point, Morgan, you've known me for a while. The first time we met, I was on so many committees with Charles. I was
actually worried about you and your level of burnout because I'm this flame is so beautiful and bright. Please do not let it burn out.
Thank you.
But no, seriously, because I've been there myself and done the thing.
You saw the signs.
Yeah.
Is she okay?
Yeah. I was just there's too much. You're everywhere. It's wonderful and we appreciate it. But
no, but that's what I was very confused because I was doing so much work in the community. And I put that, I wasn't shy in my application. Right. So I was interesting that they think
that you're not doing it.
That I don't have any community involvement. So that really, again, you can see why that would set me off because it's something that I valued so much about myself and how I spend my time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, community involvement. So it was shocking to me. It was shocking to my boss who wrote me this beautiful letter of recommendation. He's like, you spend a painful amount of time. Like
A painful.
and I'm like, I'm not in pain.
You are aggressive with your community.
He's like, you do that more than you're, like I do my job, but it's like my other job.
It's your other full-time job, right?
So that was it really sent me. And then once the dust had settled and I thought about it more, I thought to myself, how could I be more involved in an intentional way? I used this as like that pivot point, as this moment of, I was like, why? And I also reflected on this organization. I was like, maybe it's just not a good fit.
Maybe it's not a good fit. Yeah. It can be life-changing for others, but not a good fit for you. Everything is like that, right? Yeah. Not everything is everyone's cup of tea.
Exactly.
Pun intended. But I mean, it's true. I mean, that's what makes the world go round.
So, okay, there's more to
Okay,
this.
I'm like, is it getting sweeter? The sour gets sweeter?
So that's
okay,
why the sour.
I'm ready.
And also, I love sour. I like.
Oh, yeah. Give me a Sour Patch Kid any day.
So I'm like, I love these moments. So, once I, dusted myself off, this encouraged me, like, this, again, Sarah's interview, she talked about a New Year's resolution she made of saying no.
Yes.
So this 3 years ago, I went through my journey of like, let's say no to things that we don't want to do, or let's cut out things that aren't no longer serving us, like no longer serving me or my community in the best way to avoid that burnout.
Yeah.
So I really spent time being that intentional with my time and practicing saying no, and taking away those things that were weighing me down. So I appreciated that, like, oh, Sarah did that too.
Yeah.
But so later that year, like that happened, I can't remember when, but then a few months later, an opportunity popped in my inbox.
Oh.
And it's been life-changing. Teach for America Appalachia
cool.
has a fellowship, the Central Appalachian Leadership Lab.
Okay.
And it's a 3-year fellowship program focused on here in Central Appalachia, including Kentucky, West Virginia.
So there's usually like 6 states they can.
Yeah. But it's like a very specific region, and that I applied for the program, and it was it's rooted in, it was like a mix of educators. I was never a teacher or served in the Teach for America Corps, but they opened up, this is the second year of their program when I applied, and they opened it up for people who are like seasoned professionals looking for like this leadership development in an intentional way, grounded and rooted in the issues that are impacting us here in Central Appalachia.
Very specific and pointed.
And I was like,
that's great.
That's what I'm doing. When I saw it, I was like, this is for me. So I applied and I got in the program. And it's been, honestly, I was just in London, Kentucky, which I don't know if you have.
I'm a Kentucky girl, so yes, I'm from Kentucky.
I didn't know that.
I've been to London and Paris, which are both in Kentucky.
Yeah. And so I go to these places in like rural Appalachia, and I have the best time because the other cohort members that are in this fellowship with me, last time we were talking about emerging technologies like data centers and its impact to our rural communities and on the education in the classroom. And these are things like I'm spending my free time. Like I am like
you're not getting paid for this. This is
no one in the room is getting paid for except for the Teach for America people who are like running the program. But like we're all here to talk about these things that keep us up at night, that keep that we wonder about, that we care about in our communities. And that's what I love about it, is because I don't have that connection to education per se in my professional work, but I care about how our future generation, and it starts in the classroom. So that's
wonderful.
Yeah. So that's why if I was in that other program, I wouldn't have time for this one.
And it really is. It's a different cup of tea for everybody. We do have amazing leadership programs. We have Leadership West Virginia. We have the Generation West Virginia Fellows. This is such an amazing There are opportunities. So if one is the wrong fit, or you get the no that you weren't expecting, I think you're a perfect example to look a little further. And you'll find your place.
Exactly.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. That's wonderful. Now we're going to pour one out. So pour one out is taking a moment to recognize someone in the community, in your life, who's making a difference or who inspires you, to give them some flowers, to share some gratitude, and just pour one out.
Yes. Okay. Someone that I'm so excited about this, because this is where I get to talk about my West Side neighborhood work. And someone I wouldn't give her flowers. I think I would give her a plant because she's very practical.
Okay.
So I would give her a plant that she can care for. But Naomi,
I was going to say, that's Naomi, right?
Naomi.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like from the plant, you're like,
yeah, we're not going to give her flowers.
Yeah, she would be offended.
Yeah, flowers. She's like, why did you kill these things for me?
Yeah, she's like, they're cut.
Yeah. She does. She is. She's a warrior for the West Side.
Yes, yeah. So honestly, I didn't have the pleasure, like, of course I shopped at Oddbird because it was my favorite shop, but I'd never had the pleasure of getting to know Naomi in that context. Like our paths had never crossed. But so 2 years ago is when almost 2 years ago, I started working at the West Side Neighborhood Association. And I remember in my interview, I was like, I'm so happy I met Naomi Bays. Like she's so, just even in that interview, I was like, wow, she asked very thoughtful questions. And I was like, I hope I get that job, but if not, that's okay. Like
I've made a friend. Yeah.
And Naomi is the best. I love her so much. I feel like she's the Statler to my Waldorf, and she loves the Muppets, so she'll appreciate that. But yes, we can just, honestly, we're working on our West Side neighborhood work, but I feel like time has no meaning when we're together. We're like, whoa, 3 hours have passed, and we've done so much work together.
Yeah.
And it's honestly gotten to the point where sometimes people are like, what are you guys talking about? Like,
they're like, you finish each other's sentences and you're like on the same. Yes. I love relationships like that. You can, like, in a 3-hour period, you can either solve all the world's problems or get absolutely nothing done. But it's one or the other.
It's sometimes it depends on the day. But that's when we're like, oh, that was a wash. But we still tackled other things. So
yes, exactly.
Honestly, it's still productive.
But
that's what I love about it, because specifically with my work with the West Side, I care so much about the community. I was doing cleanups by myself, the city cleanups by myself. So that's, which is fine. Which is fine. It's
fine, but it's great to have company as you're cleaning.
So that's why I was like, I was doing this anyways. But that's the thing with working with Naomi, working on the West Side. That work doesn't feel like work to me. It just feels like something that we do for a community that we care about.
This is an activity.
Yep. And then I love it because we get to do the quirky things together, like planning those dad joke comedy battles.
Gosh. Yes.
We're going to be announcing the...
I was going to ask her, is there going to be a part 2?
There's a part 2, so stay tuned. Little teaser.
Excited.
And, more fun events like Magic on Magic Island. I love that our board supports us when we have these crazy ideas.
Yeah.
And just like this weekend, I know we're in February at this point, but perhaps in January, we had this event. We had a West Side Swap Meet.
So it was so cool.
Yeah, we get to do creative events and bring that joy, bring that community connection to our neighbors on the West Side. So
neighbors meeting neighbors. That's how they start to help each other too. Yeah. Now we are going to get to the sip list. This is one of my favorite parts. So this is kind of a quick roundup of things. So what is something you're watching right now?
I realized a lot of people did a lot of long answers to your sip list.
Yeah, they did.
I like rapid fire. We're going to go.
Okay, let's do it.
Abbott Elementary.
Oh my gosh, I love Abbott. This is why it turns long, because I get very excited about it.
That's good.
Quinte, oh my gosh, so talented.
Brilliant.
Okay, yes, I'm very excited they're back. Abbott is one of my favorite shows.
Yes. And it also has inspired like a love for Philadelphia.
I know. I'm like, who would have thought?
Yeah. Like, I know so much. I'm like, I want to take SEPTA, which is their public transportation.
Yes,
I know this now.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Okay, if we're going fast, if your life had a soundtrack, what song would be playing right now?
So on my Spotify Wrapped, I had my top category was bubblegum pop. Because I just need something upbeat.
Yeah.
I also need it when I do a lot of spin, I do a lot of cardio. So I'm like, I need those RPMs.
Those RPMs up.
The beats per minute. But like something that always gets me is Golden by Harry Styles.
Oh, so good. Oh, that is great. Oh, that song is very good for you. Yeah, I love that. One thing that you are reading.
Okay.
Or listening to.
You said, I was like, reading is embarrassing because I read, honestly, a concerning amount of self-help. Like, that's my favorite category. That's why I don't have a Goodreads, because I'm like, people would be like, is she okay?
Is she okay? Do we need to check on it? That's why you are okay. Yes, you're so balanced.
I studied psychology. I find it fascinating. I like understanding how people think. It helps me make better connections and relationships. So I love self-help. So I'm not going to talk about those because then it'd be sad. I don't want to. It could be helpful. It can be helpful, but that's another show. But we mentioned it earlier. Good hang.
It's oh my gosh. She is everything I aspire to be. Sometimes I think, what would Amy Poehler do? I mean,
and you're doing it.
I hope so. I love her so much. Ben just yelled at me for screaming because the sound blew out. I'm sure.
The Muppets.
But like, yes. Oh my gosh. she makes me feel better about the world.
Yeah.
You know, we need those things, as we've talked about, and she is one of those.
And I think you're doing the same thing with this. I know we're early on in this podcast, but
fine.
I think like this is the Charleston version of good hang. We're having a good hang now. We have tea.
Having a good hang. Yeah.
We're catching up, but it's also, that's the beauty of it, is we get to connect with our community members and people who are making our neighborhood, our community, our state a better place.
Exactly. I hope so. I hope that's what people take from it. Thank you. What is something you are grateful for?
I would be remiss if I didn't bring her up because she'd report back. But my dog, Georgia.
Yes.
I love her.
The dogs are really what keeps this world turning. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, now shout out to the Rat Pack. Just going to leave it there. We'll talk about them. I wish that they could speak because they would be such an interesting interview.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I mean, one of them is a complete asshole, so he would not be great. He would be, again, like fully the opposite of what is good to hang, spilling sweet tea, but I digress. Sweet or unsweet tea?
Unsweet ice.
Ice.
Green tea.
Oh,
I like that. It's just like really refreshing. It gives you some energy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. This is strawberry tea today, so I like a fruity tea as well. Who would you like to spill tea with?
Yes. Well, I noticed a lot of people said celebrities, and the way I interpreted this, I think it would be great to spill tea with my ancestors. I told you about my heritage.
Yes.
Like I have Norwegian heritage, so like Vikings, and then I also, my mom's from the Philippines, so I have that. And I think it would be really cool to communicate with like the people of my past,
That would be very cool.
family lore. Tell me more.
Both of those cultures have such great lore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that would be so interesting. Oh, you might win for the best answer with that. All right, now this is my favorite and least favorite part of the show. We are going to pass the cup.
Okay, I know.
Just because it makes me nervous. That's the only reason I don't like it. So this is where my guest asks me a question. I have no preparation. I don't know what it is, but I try to answer honestly over tea.
Okay, well, I get to flip this.
Oh, look at you. It's like a secret panel, like a pop-up book. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Okay.
But okay, pass the cup. Right. And I kind of alluded to this because it's something that I think about a lot. What keeps you up at night?
Oh my gosh. So I actually just got new sleeping medication from my doctor. Ben is back here like giving me the I am not a good sleeper. 3:30 a.m. is my witching hour. Mm-hmm. Almost like clockwork. 3:30 hits, I'm awake for 2 hours. So literally what keeps me up at night is my high level of anxiety and my obsession with being a people pleaser and wanting to make sure that I haven't like forgotten to do something or upset someone throughout the day. That's what like my literal metaphorically what keeps me up at night is the state of the world, and that is large. And I'll drill it down to the fact that we forget that we are neighbors. And that we have become so connected via technology and so isolated in real conversations that we forget when we're marginalizing a community or when we're talking about an issue, that it's not just our opinion on that in a vacuum, that it's an entire cacophony of things that need to be discussed and explored and empathized with. And that finding compassion when doing all of this would just make everything just a little bit better. Yeah. And so I think that's what we're human, and we're forgetting that we're human. And people are like, oh, AI, that's the least of our problems.
Yep.
Treating one another with love and knowing that love is not a limited commodity. It is not going to run out.
It's not.
It is endless. Mm-hmm. I can give you all of my love for this next hour, then it will always be. And I think that's what's so frustrating to me. People treat it like it's something they have to just like Gollum in Lord of the Rings, like it's my precious. And unless you like earn it, you work for it, that's not it. It's free. Give it freely.
You're so right. That's so.
So I went down a little bit, but I mean, those are like things that keep me up at night. It's just we're losing our humanity. And I think activities like what you put together with things like Pedal Pals, with the Neighborhood Association, with the work that you do, those are all really tangible, active ways to gain bits of that humanity back. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's what makes me lose sleep.
Yeah, but I mean, you're making a difference by having these types of things and sharing it with the world. So thank you.
I'm trying. If I can make somebody laugh, I love to make people cry too, as you probably heard in Chris's, but I love to make people cry.
Feel something.
Yeah, just give me an emotion. But if I can make people laugh or start their day with a little bit of a smile or some advice or just make them think about something in a different way, that is more than I could hope for. So amazing.
Sharing that.
Thank you for asking me. I love that question. So the last sip is always something that I pull typically from Instagram. You know, now my algorithm is great. It's like, I'm going to send you all these like words of wisdom and, you know, positive affirmations. So today's is a tale of beauty. The more I study happiness, the more I realize it comes down to one thing: living in alignment with what truly matters to you. Not success, not stuff, just a life that feels like yours, where you wake up glad it's your day and where you choose your own life again if you could. Where your joy isn't borrowed from someone else's approval and your worth isn't hanging on to what you achieve next, because anything else isn't worth living. And I actually love that I feel like ties very well into intention and understanding what it is that brings you joy and what it is that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning, whether it's a 7 a.m. bike ride or, you know, tea with your neighbor or whatnot. But having a life with intention, I feel like, is the life. That's how you start to build the foundation of a life worth living.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Oh, that's perfect. What a perfect closer.
I mean, I'm just out here trying to do the Lord's work, y'all. No, but I mean, I do. I didn't even expect that to happen, but I love when things like that work out. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was such a lovely conversation. A huge thank you to Sam for joining us today on Spillin Sweet Tea and for sharing your heart, which I think is for your people and your community, and your work advocating for our national parks with the National Parks Conservation Association. We are proud and very excited to celebrate Sam as our woman to watch from our YWCA Women of Achievement. If you'd like to support the YW and Sam in person and watch her as a woman to watch, you can join us on March 6th for their luncheon. You can get information for that event at the YWCACharleston.org. Thank you so much for the work that you do, the spaces that you help bring to life, and the people that you bring together.
Thank you, Morgan. This was so much fun.
So thank you all for joining me on Spillin Sweet Tea. If today's story lifted your spirits, if you found a reason to laugh or to learn, then please share it. Please give us a like, give us a subscribe. We will see you here again next week as we welcome our second Woman of Achievement, Susie Salisbury.